Today, Bitcoin mining company Stronghold Digital Mining, ticker symbol SDIG, was up over 20% at one point, which is just ridiculous. The reason for it is they just got done hosting their first ever earnings call as a public company yesterday on November 30th. Obviously, investors liked what they heard because they by far were the top performing Bitcoin mining stock in the entire stock market today. However, this was very shocking to me because I myself read through the earnings call transcript and walked away with more questions than answers. And quite honestly, I think the company is involved in some fraudulent business practices. Now, it's normal. Your first ever earnings call as a public company. It's normal if there are some hiccups in the earnings call. But we didn't just get hiccups, we got big holes. So I'm going to be getting into this in today's video. I realize that not all of you are going to be interested in SDIG stock or Stronghold Digital Mining, but hopefully if you're in that group, you'll at least get some value out of me in this video, seeing what I look at and maybe what you should look for when evaluating companies or doing research on individual stocks. I also want to say that it is okay if you disagree with me. In fact, it's a good thing if you disagree with me. I just ask that if you are in disagreement with me that you leave a comment down below telling me why my concerns are unwarranted. Along the lines of this, I believe that each of you watching this video need to come to your own conclusions and not just listen to what I have to say, because I am not a financial advisor. I'm 20 years old speaking to you through a YouTube video. Please do not take what I'm about to say as financial advice. Please come to your own conclusions. The fact of the matter is, I'm just a 20-year-old kid that enjoys analyzing and evaluating companies for whatever reason. It's pretty boring for most people, but I find enjoyment in doing so. But anyways, if you guys are new here or returning and not yet subscribed, I'd greatly appreciate you hitting that subscribe button down below. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into my concerns with this company. Alright, so basically all of my concerns stem from this recent earnings call that they just had, and for the ease of you guys watching this video and for the ease of me, I've just copy and pasted the transcript into a Word document where I can analyze it and show you my concerns. First of all, let's just cover their recent IPO. This is the first Bitcoin mining company to go public via a traditional IPO, which is pretty cool. I'll give that to the company. Through the IPO, they raised roughly $130 million. It seems like a lot of money, but I will circle back to this in just a little bit. This company also has pretty lofty goals, wanting to reach 80,000 miners operational and a total hash rate capacity of at least 8 exahash by the end of 2022. This is where my first concern with this company comes into play. We just covered that via the IPO, they raised roughly $130 million. And if we take a look at their most recent quarterly report, we can see that their cash combined with their equipment deposit, so basically the cash they've set aside to buy the miners, equals just over $100 million. However, if they want to reach this goal of 80,000 miners by the end of 2022, it's going to cost over $800 million. That's a lot of money that they don't have, and that just leads to a large amount of dilution and/or debt. Both really not that great for shareholders. I also should cover that this company only has about 450 petahash up and operational currently as I'm speaking. And they want to get to 8 exahash within the next 12 months, basically. I'm just going to tell you right now that this company is not going to reach 8 exahash by the end of 2022 if they only have around 450 petahash deployed right now. And anybody in the Bitcoin mining industry, anybody that leads public Bitcoin mining companies would probably agree with me. That is just not plausible in the current state of the economy. However, on top of all of this cash they need to just purchase the miners, they also need additional cash to purchase power generating facilities. That's a big part of this company's business model, where they transform power generating facilities and they generate power through them. They acquire them, they upgrade them, they reassemble them. That's pretty expensive, and all of those facilities also have reoccurring expenses that go along with them. All of this is cash the company doesn't have. And with the company only mining 450 petahashes right now, it's not looking like they're mining that much Bitcoin where they could turn around and sell it and then all of a sudden be able to afford all of this expense. Stack on the fact that the company has just recently hired 39 additional employees, and that's just even more cash burn. And I've already covered, they just don't have the cash for this. My biggest concern with this company is concern number 2, which I will get into now. And it all involves their supplier, Minerva, who supplies them with some of their Bitcoin mining rigs. The reason I am so concerned with this is that the company is supposed to take in shipments of 15,000 miners from Minerva. But if you look into Minerva, you'll see that it's not really a legit company. At least it doesn't look like it is in its current state. The management team of Stronghold even acknowledged this in their earnings call transcript. Greg Beard acknowledges this concern when he says, "I'm aware that there are rumors out there saying, does this company really even exist? Are they going to be able to ship miners? Do they even make miners?" And then it goes even further. Greg Beard says, "And I would be much more concerned if they didn't have the supplies or parts to assemble these things, meaning the mining rigs. So we believe that they do. And the most critical component of that is the chip. We believe they have those already in their possession." Rule number 1 in business is you need to know your supplier. You either know that they have the components to make these mining rigs, or you don't know that they have these components to make the mining rigs. Saying we believe that they do and making projections based off of that is not okay. You cannot communicate to the public markets that you expect to reach 8 exahash at the end of next year and get 15,000 miners delivered from Minerva when you're not even sure if they have the components to make the dang mining rigs. You can't do that. Hopefully you guys can see why that's a very big concern of mine with this company. Basically, what I've gathered is this company doesn't have the cash it needs to grow as fast as it currently projects it's going to grow. One of their major suppliers of their Bitcoin mining rigs might be a hoax. It might not even exist, yet they're making projections and they're putting out guidance based on the fact that they think and they believe that that supplier is going to be able to supply them the rigs. That's simply not okay, and I cannot believe that investors couldn't see through this because, again, the stock was up over 20% at one point today. Unfortunately, there's a concern number 3 from me, and trust me, I wish it was over. I do. I don't like making these videos, but this is just so concerning, and I hope people don't get burned on this. I hope I'm wrong about my concerns about this company. There was an institutional investor that inquired about their current 470 petahash mining power, and he asked, "I wondered if you could maybe provide some comments onto how that capacity might convert into coin production in December and into January." Pretty simple question. Pretty simple question should be a pretty simple answer. Instead, Greg Beard answers it, "Yes, sure, that's a great question, and obviously, hey, we have statistics by the day, by the minute, on what our hash rates are practically by miner. But I think we're not quite ready to share those yet. I think expect a detailed uptime performance, probably by brand, by location, for the first quarter of next year. So we agree, hey, these metrics are important. We fully intend to have an uptime that's pretty close to capacity. But at this point, I think we're not ready to share that data yet." This is almost just as concerning as my previous concern. It was a very simple question about their claimed 470 petahash mining capacity right now. Instead, we got a long-winded answer of somebody that's been bragging up their mining operations, bragging up their statistics, acknowledging that statistics and mining are important, but then saying that we're not ready to release that information yet. Why would you not be ready to release that information? In this day and age, in this market, releasing that information should be extremely beneficial to the company. So this gets me wondering, okay, what are they hiding here? Are they not really at 470 petahash? Is there something that goes along with that 470 petahash that the uptime isn't as high as it should be, that they're kind of embarrassed about it? That sort of thing? I don't know. And this is what I'm talking about. We're not getting hiccups in this earnings call. We're getting big holes and big questions that need answered. Because right now, all of these things lead to one conclusion, that this company looks fraudulent. And until they clean this stuff up, that will be the case. And I want to make one last point. They say in here that this team is highly aligned with shareholders as our insider ownership exceeds 50%. Well, of course, if your insider ownership exceeds 50%, you're highly aligned with shareholders, but don't make this comment when your lockup expirations haven't even happened yet. As soon as the lockups expire, you know that lots of your insiders are going to be selling shares. If not, you're going to be the first company in history, after going IPO, after going public, to maintain over 50% insider ownership. So this gives them all the more incentive to try and prop up the share price in the short term, maybe in fraudulent ways or by misleading investors, and then selling out at a higher price down the road as their lockups expire. So basically, in conclusion, I believe that Stronghold Digital Mining, ticker symbol SDIG, is a fraudulent company having fraudulent business practices. We need some of these holes filled. We need some of these big questions answered. And until then, that's going to be my common consensus, that this is a fraudulent company. Please, anybody on the management team, if you're watching this video, please address some of these things because they're big holes and they're big questions, as I've already stated. Again, I would love to be proven wrong on this, so if you disagree with what I've stated in this video, please do leave a comment down below sharing with me why you believe my concerns are unwarranted. With that, again, if you guys are new here or returning and not yet subscribed, I'd greatly appreciate you hitting that subscribe button. Also, if you enjoyed this type of content, feel free to hit that like button. And with that, have a great rest of your day. Peace out.